this is what we're going to do. I'm going to share my top 10 movies. Are you cracking your knuckles?
I just did.
My top 10.
I saw you do this. I didn't even think about it. I just did it also. Just
Here we go. My top 10 movies for 2019 out of the ones I've seen. And I'm going to list the ones I haven't seen.
That's so funny.
I know. And then they're going to give their feedback and like where they feel like it would have fit in their lists in general. But we'll use my list to guide us through the podcast. Okay, quick list of movies I did not see this year that I wanted to see. Frozen 2.
still haven't seen it.
Jojo Rabbit, Lego Movie 2. I loved the first one.
I did too. I didn't see that one.
Alita Battle Angel. Which I heard was a mediocre but cool movie. Bombshell, Us, Shazam, Detective Pikachu, which is for the Pokemon fans.
Yes, I mean, and Ryan.
It was so entertaining to me.
That's why I heard it was just like so good. Tolkien.
Yep, didn't see that.
Which I think was a very under the radar movie.
Yeah.
But I still really want to see it because I love Tolkien. The Peanut Butter Falcon. I really wanted to see.
How did you not?
I didn't have anyone to see it with.
I've seen it 3 times.
I wish there was someone who would have seen it.
It's crazy because I love film.
Oh, I wish someone loved film.
Oh my gosh, I hate you.
Ready or Not. I heard it was actually better than everybody thought it was going to be. It was the family.
They get married.
If you come get married, you play like this lottery game with the family, and if they pick hide and seek, you have to survive or whatever. I heard it was surprised. It was better than like a crappy horror movie.
Right, yeah.
So I wanted to see that one. Goldfinch. The Goldfinch.
Yes. Oh
all I knew was the synopsis, and it sounded great.
I've heard so many things about that movie.
Bad things?
Yeah.
Oh.
Bad things?
Yeah.
Like what?
I heard it was slow and it didn't get to the point till the very end.
Okay.
I think it's beautiful.
Okay.
So you saw it?
Yeah, I saw it. I think it's so beautiful.
The King. I really wanted to watch The King.
Yeah, didn't see that.
I heard that was good. The Lighthouse.
That
was people freaked out.
Movie.
It was so weird, and I love that movie
weird
so
and good?
much. Yes, weird and good. Okay. It's probably in my top 10.
Okay, wow.
I saw it in weird circumstances.
Okay.
Cool. That'll change a thing. The Current War, which was the Tesla Edison movie.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't hear a lot about it. I want to say Benedict Cumberbatch and I can't recall. I don't remember. Terminator 8. I don't know what. No. Terminator Dark Fate, which I'm pretty sure isn't going to be great, but I still want to see it because I grew up with Terminator and stuff. Yeah. My expectations are low, I'll say that. Honey Boy. I really wanted to see Honey Boy.
That's one movie I know for a fact if I would have seen that, it would be in my top 10.
Dude,
okay.
I saw that.
Wait, that's weird, but I think I know it.
Because I've heard so many...
I've
had enough... reliable sources tell me how great it is.
People you trust.
And then that's reliable.
Dude,
that's why
I saw that movie.
No.
You loved it?
I had to have a straight up therapy session afterwards.
Oh,
see?
It was so intense.
Okay, wow.
See?
And then the last one I didn't see was A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. That I really want to see. I also grew up with Mr. Rogers, and Caitlin didn't, so that's why she never really wanted to see it when we talked about it. So I was like, okay, I just need to go see that one. Okay, I'm hitting my top 10, and then it's really hard for me because there's 20 other movies that I thought were really good that are low on the list.
I think your number one's over here to the side on my list.
Just notated. Okay.
And you said you've seen how many?
I saw, this is out of 60.
60? Okay.
I did not keep track like that.
Yeah.
Well, you probably saw more than you thought because when I started numbering them, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And I felt like I didn't see more movies than, well, maybe a little bit. Not more movies than I would have normally
these
seen.
These are new movies.
These were movies released in 2019.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's
I think I saw 50.
Side note. I tried to pick my favorite movies of the decade.
Oh my gosh.
That was
a fun talk we had.
I went from... I just wrote down, these were movies I really enjoyed from every year.
But that's
2010.
10 years?
Yeah, it was 350 movies.
Oh my gosh.
Of just, pretty good movies and the best movies.
You wrote them all down?
I just, started recording them, and I was like, I will not do a podcast on this. It'll take me 10 years.
You just need to post your findings. Here it is.
Here's
you go
some
look at
good
it.
movies of the decade.
I would love to see that list because I would remember so much.
Yeah, that's it. I was it was weird thinking about what came out. For instance, do I pick, this was the question. Do I pick the best movie from every year?
Oh.
No, because in 2010, Inception and Book of Eli both came out.
Oh, you love Book of Eli.
I love both of those movies. I was like, they would take 2 spots. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. Are y'all ready for this?
Let's do this.
Ready for this?
The Social Network. Anyway,
I never saw it.
You never saw Social Network?
I never saw it. Anyway, we can't dally. Okay.
We're 10 years back.
For my top 10 for 2019, please no drum rolls. Number 10, Toy Story 4.
Number 10. Okay. All right.
And I'll tell you why. Toy Story 4 was extremely sentimental.
Just made it to her list.
Oh my god.
She's writing it
I
down.
forgot about it.
Extremely sentimental. I grew up with Toy Story. I remember the day I saw Toy Story 2, because Toy Story 1 came out, I was probably really young. The day I saw Toy Story 2, me and my mom, it came out in
Like 1990.
1998, I think.
Yeah.
So I was probably 6 or 7. And I remember walking out with my mom, and I turned and looked at my mom, and I'm pretty sure I was wearing a cowboy outfit. And I go, do you want to see it again? And she was like, I'm thinking about it.
No
we were
way.
both thought the movie was so good that we wanted to go back in.
That's
That
wild.
was Toy Story 2.
So
I
sweet.
also love Toy Story 3 because they made a movie for me being Andy's age, going to college.
That's what I said. He graduated. It came out 2010. I was like, this is the year I graduated.
He graduated, so I'm a year older than Andy. So
Okay.
that was another thing. Toy Story 3 is
Yeah.
amazing. Also, I don't think Toy Story 3 is a kid's movie.
Oh.
Because of how they're all about to be melted into fire. Like, what are you
They're
gonna...
accepting it.
I argue.
Yeah,
I
that
argue
was
the
like,
fact
okay, guys, let's all die together. Good
that I always
grief.
argue the fact that they should have let someone die. They absolutely should let someone they weren't able to save them, and
Oh,
that
then it
is
wouldn't have been a kid's movie.
Oh, for sure, and that is what is the
You're Mr. Potato Head.
Is he your least favorite character? He actually died in real life, so
way to
why
go,
don't you be
jerk.
careful. Don. Okay, so Toy Story 4, I loved it. I thought it was nostalgic, sentimental.
Absolutely.
And,
The visual effects,
Forky.
Forky was amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. I don't know the actor's name. I forget his name. He is great.
Tony Hale.
Tony Hale.
Tony
was
Hale. Yeah, there you go.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
I kept when it came on, I was like, I know that guy.
Hey, brother.
Yeah. So, also the visual effects were stunning.
Did you see that comparison, like from the first one to the new one?
No, I saw a clip from the first one the other day though, and I was
In
like,
my brain I
oh,
did.
like the
And it's
dog
crazy.
running with no knees.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? But
Oh, wow,
the
you're
water,
right.
the water at the
Yeah.
beginning of this movie, I was like, that looks like real water.
Yeah.
Those are real toys in real water.
Oh yeah.
I really feel it right now.
It's
So anyway-
it's crazy how so clear and crisp some of those
Yeah.
shots are now,
Yeah.
and it just came available on Disney Plus.
Toy Story 4 did?
Yeah.
Oh dang, I need to
You gotta
go
go
watch
watching
it.
it.
Again.
And so this last couple months, we've been getting my youngest nephew, my sister's kid,
Yeah.
and he's just fallen in love with Woody and Buzz.
Oh, man.
So of course I bought him Woody and Buzz for Christmas and everything.
That's awesome.
I was like, I'm gonna win. I'm the best uncle.
My niece is like a little over 2, and I've only met her twice because my brother with her has lived in Japan for a few years. For another time.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So she is like Toy Story crazy, and they've been watching Toy Story 1, 2, and 3 like just in repeat because
Yeah.
she just loves it.
Yeah.
And my brother said he's never realized how many times Buzz falls down. Until she loves Buzz, and every time he falls, she goes, "Buzz, fall down!" And he was like, "Oh my gosh, why does Buzz fall down so much?" Like
He's very top heavy.
a note you would never think of. Like a
That's
small
that's
little
hilarious.
detail.
It's
So next time you watch it,
it's
check it
crazy how little kids pick up and see those
Yeah.
things. Like my Clifton, my youngest nephew, he picks up all those little things.
Yeah.
And all those little moments, he likes to reenact them. So
And he acts them out, yeah.
Yeah, it's
I did that with
it's such a beautiful. Oh, for sure. But yeah, Toy Story. I think that was I think maybe number 11 for me. Like it was up there.
Not the top, but pretty
I saw
close.
It one
I
time
mean-
so long ago, so I can't remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it came out in the summer, didn't it?
I am watching Forky Ask a Question every week when it
Is
comes
it really good? I haven't watched it on Disney
haven't
Plus.
seen that, no.
minutes each.
Wow. Did you hear about the movie they're doing about Bo Peep? Is it a movie?
Yes.
A TV show?
Is there?
Yeah.
I as soon as I was always waiting for people to see this because I think they have such a great platform now for them to do a series of Bo Peep, either
Woody?
before Woody or Bo Peep and Woody together, finding the lost toys and
Or
like
in
doing a
between
whole.
when she's on her own.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what
That's what I'm
he's
saying
saying,
before,
Okay.
where she's her journey and and like what that looks like,
Right.
Or a Woody and Bo Peep find the lost toys series and everything.
So they're doing. I don't actually know the details, but I think it's a movie on Disney Plus or a short movie, and it's called like The Lamp Story or something like that. And it's
So,
her
yeah,
and her
okay.
sheep.
Okay,
But
it's
I
probably
think
from that.
Woody's in it. So I don't know the timeline or whatever, but
Interesting.
something to check out.
Cute
Okay.
discussion, just like So
it's just them sitting there talking. It's like,
So,
so this is what happened to me.
What if they?
EU of Toy Story.
What if it was an hour of when a kid is in the room and not playing with them? So they're just the whole time. You're like, this is the real story behind Toy Story. That's actually been a really good spoof. Like,
Lars von Trier, like.
yeah, that would be so dark. Okay, I'm gonna keep moving. Unless you guys have any other thoughts.
Nope.
Okay, number 9 for me, and I think I might be alone on this. Glass.
Glass is where's
He's like,
it's on?
did you see it?
I didn't see it because.
Do you know what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
What?
Have you
No, I
seen
mean,
the,
like,
have you seen
what
the
it
other
is?
ones?
Oh yeah.
And
Do you
it's
know what
do
it
you
is?
know? It's so simple. I mean, it's a third sequel.
Yes.
Okay, or
Yeah.
second sequel. It's the end of
They
a
call those
trilogy.
threeples. I'm just
Threeples.
kidding.
It's the end of a trilogy.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that why you haven't seen it?
No, it's because I saw the ending when I was working at iPad.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
why I don't think I could ever work at a movie theater because of
dude,
that.
It's pretty hard.
I mean-
I worked there for 5 years.
Same. I made it like a priority to see the big ones like the night before.
Yep,
so that,
same.
'cause I knew I would work out all weekend.
Or kind of do less good work by avoiding the movie
Yes.
parts you don't want
Get
to
less
see.
tips.
Yep.
Yeah, I think
It was
I'd be
pretty
fine with
challenging.
that.
But the flip side is you get free movies.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is the other reason I thought about
I saw
being.
free movies for 5.5 years.
That is pretty rad.
I saw
In at iPick, like of all places.
Yeah, which
I still
is
go there for
phenomenal.
free because of Michaela.
I want to go.
I want to become friends with Michaela. I need her as a friend.
Okay, so
Not that
I
don't
love
have
Glass.
other friends there.
I loved Glass probably because of the wrap up. That was probably my
Yeah.
favorite part. If you don't know, there was a movie. I think it was released in '99. Unbreakable with.
Was it 99?
I think it was '99. It's old. It's 20 years old.
I thought it was older than that. That's why I'm asking.
It might be. It might be. It's a '90s movie. I'm pretty sure.
Sixth Sense come out in like
2001 or something. Oh, is it older?
Sixth Sense? It's older than
it's like
Unbreakable.
96
Oh,
or
yeah.
97.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
amazing. So Unbreakable came out in the 90s, and it's M. Night Shyamalan, who is one of my all-time favorites. He, you don't like it?
No, I just want to ask about that show on Apple.
Oh.
But anyways, keep going. It's good.
Watch my review. It's phenomenal. So good.
So-
Servant. Check it out. So I loved that it was a wrap-up, but Unbreakable came out in the 90s, and it was a story about a man who was a superhero, but not a normal superhero story. It's like he didn't believe he was and kind of figured it out.
Like,
Then,
realistic, whatever.
at the end of the movie Split,
That movie in itself is great.
yeah, Split was an amazing standalone, which is impressive. So 20 years later, after Unbreakable, or about 20 years, there's a after credit scene or like very last scene where they basically reveal that it was the same universe and tie-in to Unbreakable. So it was like a 20-year sequel, which
And it
I
was kept a
love.
secret.
No one knew.
No one.
Yeah.
And
It
so
blew
I'm
me
sitting there with
away.
Caitlin.
Only people in my group, like the
Yes.
only person
You're
in my
like,
group was like, oh my god, they're like, what? And I'm like,
That's what happened with my wife.
wow.
She was like, what? And I was like, no, this is, you don't even realize.
Me and my brother thought we saw some things
Yeah.
because in there they have a couple little things sprinkled in
Oh,
there.
I need to watch it again.
And I want to say they mention the name of
Done.
yeah and everything.
Oh.
And so like you're kind of
wait
sitting
a
there like
second.
what's going on here? And then whenever that happens is such a huge aha moment and
so
oh my gosh.
So I loved that. I love the cinematography because M. Night Shyamalan has an amazing flavor.
Yes.
Which is very evident in Servant.
Flavor.
Flavor. And then I loved the twists. I loved like, I did not call the end. I actually thought, I'm trying to remember because I haven't seen it since January. Not this past January, 2 Januaries. Wow, that's
Oh wow,
crazy.
yeah.
But the lady that was in charge of like the what's it called? Oh wait, I don't want to give too much away if you haven't seen it.
Sarah Paulson? So who is
I was about to say the twists and you haven't seen it.
that
I'm
her
not gonna
name?
say it.
Yeah, don't
Sarah
yeah.
Paulson.
It is right, yeah.
Anyway, I love the twists. There are
she's so
twists.
great.
There's multiple
Wow, thanks
twists.
for the respect. I appreciate it.
I'm a big fan of that. I don't watch trailers because they give away things.
Correct.
Another podcast. Okay, any other thoughts? Glass is my number 9.
That I
I
don't
think the wrap up is what really got me. The fact that it was such a good end.
Yeah.
Period on that.
Yeah.
I agree with that to an extent, but that's also kind of my issue with it. Is like it does tie it up in a nice little bow, and all those like it felt a little too clean for me. Everything, and I love it because even with Shyamalan, he has some nice. He gives resolution with still leaving you wondering, and I don't feel like there was
Like
enough
there could
wonder.
be another movie,
right?
maybe, but
Yeah.
there probably won't.
And
be.
I don't think there was enough wonder to it, which is fine because he could have literally like, no, I'm just going to clean this up and
Yeah.
everything. But I really love that movie. There is people have a lot of issues with it, thinking it's the lesser of the three, which is crazy.
That's what
to me.
people say about The Matrix, and I just love The Matrix, all of them. To me, it's just one.
Yeah.
Now 1 and 4.
It's coming
The fourth one. Did you see they released? People were taking photos of him filming in New York,
That's crazy.
or no, in L.A.
Keanu.
It's like a whole
Yeah.
different setting. Keanu.
I'll say
He's
one
wearing,
thing.
yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay.
I was gonna say one thing about that movie is about Glass is in Split. I loved the idea of McAvoy going from character to character, and the one thing I wanted was to show it, and then they showed it in Glass.
On the
And
next level.
whenever
You saw Split, right?
Yeah.
So they took him. Sorry, they took
No,
him
you're good.
bouncing between characters to another level,
Really?
and it's the best scene in the whole.
because
movie.
literally they have
Oh,
like
I
lights
like
like
he's
this
so
to
good at
to
He's being
change it.
triggered.
And so you'll see him like start raging, being the monster, and then he turns
Without
to like a little
cutting.
boy. Like the light flashed on, and you just see him switch and switch.
That's
Okay,
amazing,
It's
huh?
crazy.
I can't believe for both of those movies, Split and Glass, that he didn't get nominated for something.
Oh,
Because
seriously.
it is absolutely one of the best performances I've ever seen.
I
But
think
because the genre of the
right for sure, for
It's a
sure.
comedy, Tori.
It was hilarious.
It was so funny.
But I think that's also like thing with Split. He probably could have. I don't remember what he was going up against though, but I feel like there was a lot of heavy hitters whenever that came out.
I just it
And
came
with
out
this-
in January, but I'm like, it
And with
was
this,
too
he
good.
wasn't the focus. It was too much of a
But
shared.
best supporting,
Best supporting,
out of
probably.
what, that list,
Yeah,
maybe.
for sure. Best supporting.
It's
true.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It's true. Forgettable.
You can't like.
some
It's
people.
all about timing with that stuff. You like, if you. I feel like, and I'd like to see a study on this. Like, if there was like, what movies came out January, February, March is kind of a rough area
Spring,
spill.
yeah.
Anything, but there are some from March that do well. But depending if you come out
Yeah,
January,
like a
February, you're
graph
almost
of
yeah,
it.
you're almost
Yeah.
proud. I want to know if there's been anything that they've won Best Picture
From
or
early
anything from.
well, because it seems like studios always put it out in December and
Yeah.
at the end of the year
The best ones, yeah.
so that they get the.
Yeah, I didn't even
Wow.
see. Dude, I forgot. Never mind.
It's okay. Okay, we're gonna keep moving. Number 8, and last thing I'll say about Glass is I don't think it's like one of the out of the 10 best, but for me
But for you it
that
is.
was more of
Absolutely.
a favorite over best.
Absolutely.
Face.
Number 8 for me was Ad Astra.
Didn't see
Ad Astra,
it.
really?
Yeah, I know.
That one is super slow burn.
That's
Yes.
what I
And
heard.
it's phenomenal because of it.
Dang it, I
because-
should've
But
seen
people didn't
theaters.
expect it.
Yeah.
People wanted a sci-fi thriller.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Okay, yeah.
It didn't have to be in space. It could have been a road trip. It could have been
It could have been set like
sitting in a
rural times,
house,
like,
yes.
and he's literally riding a horse and buggy to get
in the
to where
same
he's going.
story.
Like it's a beautiful story, but because the space element and going to Mars and going to the outer edges of it, the timing and the pacing of it, it makes you feel anxious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
because like literally if you're by yourself in space, what do you like?
Yeah, no,
it's
it's-
dead silence.
And he's by himself in
It's-
space to Neptune, like all the way.
Yeah, so it's
Like,
a
he doesn't
long
want, like,
trip.
I don't want to tell you too much, man.
Yeah, it's
I just feel like I should have seen it in theaters. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's-
Also, I'll say this: maybe the best depiction of space I've ever seen,
Really?
as
Better
far as
than-
physics, the moon scene.
yeah. Oh my
There
god.
is a chase scene of it for it being a slow movie. There is a chase scene on the moon that is one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
Really?
I don't.
Yeah.
I just want to watch that scene again. I want to see a whole movie on that moment. That was incredible.
Dude,
So
that's how I feel about
how many years
Yeah.
is it going to be before we get a Too Fast Too Furious on the moon?
Probably not long.
I mean, it's next year.
2021?
It's coming out next
Breaking.
year.
They're just
trailer
gonna-
for F9.
No,
No.
I've seen enough,
Concert.
and that's just been the posters.
They did a concert for it.
Oh my
What?
gosh.
I mean,
I was over
Mm.
on the second.
I've
movie.
never seen one in my life.
Don't
Really?
don't waste
The
your
first
time.
two are
Sorry,
fine.
everybody who's a big fan.
Tokyo Drift, people loved it, but it's
First one's iconic.
Dude, Han is back. I'm just kidding. I don't know who that is.
Is that
Is he from the third one? Probably.
maybe.
I don't know, and I honestly
Vin
don't
Diesel?
care.
Is that who Han is? No, I don't know who Han
That's
is.
gonna be a hard one for me to like force myself to
Is
see
that-
for my
Never
list.
mind.
Oh.
Sorry, did I interrupt?
No, I was gonna say.
That's how Marriage
I was
Story
gonna. I was gonna ask if what's his name was in it. He's Han, but he's dead, so he can't be in it.
Oh, come on. Man.
What's his name?
Okay, so Ad
Is that who it
Astra.
is? Is that huh?
That's a trailer. The trailer reveals everything.
No, I'm saying
No way.
No, I'm saying what's his name? The guy that I can't remember his name.
The guy with Gal Gadot who played with Gal Gadot.
No, the guy that was like it was Vin Diesel and this dude. I can't remember his
Walker?
name. Paul Walker.
Is not back.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said there's no way for him to be back because he's dead.
Too soon.
That's what I'm saying. Is his name? Is that Han?
Okay.
I don't even know who anybody is.
Back to Ad Astra.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, we got way off.
I'll also say this one is probably higher on my list than I would say other people's because it is a daddy issue movie. It's all about the thing between the relationship between a dad and his son. Yes. And it is painful.
Oh, no.
And it pulled on my heart enough for me to be like, I hate this beautiful movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was so deep.
That's how
That it was-
for me.
What was?
Honey Boy.
So you might feel this way in this one. But mixing the allegory of that with visual sci-fi, well, maybe the end was a little too much. The very end,
Okay.
when he's...
Was it too sci-fi?
It was like, I don't know how realistic that is.
Yeah.
But then you go back to the very beginning when he's on the tower. I'm trying to be somewhat vague for your
Yeah.
sake. When he's on the tower, that was incredible. There are some actually very thrilling moments. But at about an hour apart.
For sure. They have some really cool build up, and then it kind of it lulls, and it makes you feel anxious and kind of like, why is this taking so long?
Oh my gosh, the monkeys.
Yeah.
Tried to
The band?
I'm trying to remember. Wow.
No, there's so many great things about this movie, and I absolutely love it.
I loved it.
It's definitely in my top 10.
Brad Pitt probably could have maybe been nominated, I think. Well, maybe not. I'll say there was one scene, and then we'll move on. There was one scene where he cries, and it was like, I can feel you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this was bittersweet, and I read about it in the IMDb trivia. I love the IMDb trivia. He cries, and he's in space. He's in zero gravity, and his tears run down his face.
Oh, okay.
So I read about it because I was like, that's not very subtle. That ain't real. And you just had this amazing moon scene.
Right.
What's going on? But I read that the director, he really cried. So it was real tears. It was like an absolutely amazing acting moment. The director, who I don't recall who it was like, I think Brad Pitt was like, you have to make it 0G. And he was like, I can't change this scene. It's too good, which I can appreciate, but I loved hated that. It did.
Yeah.
Now I'm talking about that instead of the movie.
What would you have done if you were to sit there and it just kind of goes down and they just start floating away?
That's what I'm saying. That's
That
what they
would
should
have been
have.
kind of. I can see it.
But they could have looked crappy. So that's why I
Yeah.
understand.
Well, according to you, the monkeys in the moon looked pretty sick. So
There weren't monkeys on the moon, and that's the last thing I'll say about it. Go see the movie. All right, moving on. Number 7, Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker.
Gosh.
And I will say, not the best movie of the year at all,
Nope.
but way up there for me as far as nostalgia, sentiment, wrap up. Again, 9-movie wrap
Yeah.
up.
Wrap up going 100,000 miles per hour. Do you mean
What?
what? It
The
went
first-
so
the first
freaking
couple-
fast.
The movie?
Yes.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because
Because people like
he's
you. No, I'm
retconning
just kidding.
everything.
I know. I hate it.
He's like, hold on, let me do a mini movie in this like fast forward part, and so I can say this makes sense now
Yeah.
because of everything that happened. Let me do this little bit, and it's completely breaking the fourth wall. And I'm saying, yeah, I definitely shouldn't have been going so fast. I broke it.
Literally.
I broke it. Everything.
Listen, for what it was and what it could have been and what it just came from,
Okay,
it was
so you
pretty
don't like
outstanding.
The Last Jedi.
Last Jedi is lower on my list of Star Wars. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm probably going to get ripped apart for it. I can enjoy a Star Wars movie.
I enjoy.
And a lot of people can't, apparently.
I enjoyed the Rise of
Okay.
Skywalker.
I-
had fun watching it. I cried. I had
Yes.
emotions.
When Han and
Ben.
his boy.
His
Okay,
boy.
listen.
My
When
boy.
listen, this is probably that actually might have been my favorite part of the whole movie.
Same. Oh my god.
When the callbacks
Are you
and the
Yeah.
I'm not. When
You're gonna
he
make the fuse
goes,
float away.
that would be incredible. You'll float too. You'll float too. That was this year.
Yeah, it was.
Um,
Apparently not on your list.
No, not my top 10, unfortunately. When he when they redo the scene on the bridge, basically,
Yeah.
in the water, and he says, he goes, I think he says, Dad, and he's about to say, I love you. And Han goes, I know.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's so
I want
good.
to cry right now.
It's so good.
That was so. The fact that they didn't exactly repeat the scene
You're
from
breaking
what
up.
movie? Is it Empire Strikes Back? It is.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
It's
God in
so
heaven.
good. They have so
Thank
many
you, God.
so many beautiful moments, and that's also part of the problem. They have so many things.
Oh.
It's just like the same thing with what was number 7 called?
The Force Awakens.
Yeah, Force
Awakens.
Awakens. Like it was pretty much like a complete copy of New Hope. Like
In the
this
best way.
timing and like
That
so
was
many.
fan service,
Yeah.
100%.
Yes, and then they do this again.
What else should it be?
Oh,
I know,
I
I love
completely
it. I
agree.
loved it.
I love all of them, and they're
Yeah.
great. And I'm going back and been watching all of them over and over and over again. It's kind of my show I put on in the background, like
Your
whenever.
office.
It's for sure, and everything. And so I've seen all of them hundreds of times now because
Yeah.
it's just in the background, especially since Disney Plus.
Right.
But they do so much fan service, and it's ridiculous, and it's too much as a critic. Because
As a fan.
Oh my gosh, I was like, I want to see this, I want this, and you give it to me. Like, I called the movie so many times throughout. I'm like, they're gonna do this. This is gonna happen. Like whenever he left his lightsaber and she threw it into the ocean, whatever, and I'm like, and then she gets one. I'm like, oh, she's gonna force teleport it to him, and then sure enough,
That
a couple
part was
minutes
pretty
later,
That part
they
was
do it.
amazing.
Oh, I agree, but like it's telegraphed. All these things, I knew things were. I knew these things were coming. I knew so many things. I mean,
You know what else I love?
I'm not, but I am.
Was when after he had his moment and basically totally turn around, right? 180.
Yeah.
He smiled for the first time in the trilogy. He made a joke for the first time in the trilogy that referenced his dad, apparently. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? When he gets the saber and pulls it out, and they're all like, "What? Whoa!" And he's like, that was apparently a callback to, oh, I can't even remember the scene now. It was something Han did. He does like a shrug the same way in one of the original trilogy. I can't remember. And then he smiled, and then he kissed a girl. It was so good.
He became a man in a matter of.
Me and
became a man.
Kaden in that moment were like screaming, like
that's why I hate
silent
it.
screaming.
Yeah.
Oh,
She
it's
doesn't even
great.
know that guy. She knows Kylo Ren.
Listen.
She doesn't know Ben. Then she meets Ben. Like for a
It wasn't
second,
like we're falling in love. It was like, actually, I don't want to go there. I don't know what I was.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But
I love
that
Star
is
Wars.
a big moment, also. But yeah,
I hate
also
that.
people hate the idea of his redemption happened so quick.
I don't care.
It
that
was a
happened-
long time coming.
I don't care that it happened so quick. I just don't appreciate that she was like, they never even wanted to make out the whole time. That was totally for like the Raylos out there.
Oh, what I did love on that line, I didn't love that they like made you think that she was gonna get with like every guy in the story at different
Yeah.
points.
I did not
Like she kind of had.
She's not a Poe.
I feel like her
Poe was
Poe
getting with
had a
everyone.
thing, but then didn't, and they like in this movie they were like, we hate each other, but we're like brother and sister.
Yeah.
Then at other times Finn is like crazy about her.
Uh-huh.
By the way, the more I think and watch Finn, the less I can stand his character, and he's pushing Jar Jar Binks level for me.
Are you serious?
Next time you watch it, listen to how many times he yells someone's name, and he doesn't really need to yell it
There's also plenty of moments that
with all his might.
No, yeah, that's just
yeah.
another reason why I don't like the writing in The Rise of Skywalker is because he's yelling at her the whole time.
That's
They
him. I don't
did
think
his character
JJ's like,
so-
can you stop yelling? He's like, no, JJ. I'm being hypothetical.
Yeah. But that is one thing also, like, there is a couple things that leave you hanging, which is nice. The fact that he does yell at her, tell her, like, I gotta tell you something, and then he's like, oh, never mind.
So I read about it.
Huh?
More sensitive.
It was that he knew, Leia told him that she was Palpatine's
Okay, yeah.
granddaughter.
See, that's what
That
I-
is.
That's apparently, I think JJ confirms that.
Okay.
That's what I was
JJ
wondering. Like,
Abrams, I know him by first initials.
JJ told me.
text. Just got text.
Oh,
Yep.
sorry,
Yep.
JJ, I'm in the middle
He's
of the
listening
podcast.
live.
Talk to your. Sorry, JJ.
Hello? Yeah, okay.
But
Anyway,
yeah, that's what everyone. That's definitely what I said or anything. But I don't know about everyone. I didn't poll everybody. But that makes sense. But also at the same time, like, why would she tell him and not
yeah, it was
her?
weird. I don't
There's
like
a couple
Finn
little holes and
anymore.
everything. Finn, I'm fine with. He's okay, but he's also kind of a baby. And
Big baby.
I'm
So
I'm
to
fine
wrap
with
it up, I absolutely loved the movie. Not
Yes.
the best movie. Probably shouldn't be on the top 10 best, but I absolutely
But
loved
because of fan service, you
Yes.
have to. I mean, absolutely.
They destroyed Ryan Johnson's work.
it. That was the point.
Yeah, good.
I hated it.
I didn't love
wait.
Ryan Johnson.
I love Last Jedi.
Oh, interesting.
So you're one of those.
Did you like the Casino Planet?
No, that was totally pointless.
Yeah.
But I think he took the story and the characters in a completely different direction that anybody was expecting. And then JJ came back and was like, no, actually. He even like freaking made it obvious when they were like talking about Holdoing it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, no, that'll never work.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
dude, screw you.
It's kind of funny if you think about it.
No, I love it. See, the things you hate about it, I love it even more because of it. Because I do not like Ryan Johnson's take on the things at all.
I love
Like,
it.
Ooh, last thing I'll say, so we can move
sorry,
on.
yeah, sorry.
I know we got a lot. We're on number.
We get excited
We're on number
here.
7. Last thing I'll say is there are rumors that Taika Waititi is going to be directing the next trilogy that is coming out in 2021.
Oh, that's so
Already?
2023, 2025.
Oh my goodness.
Or 2022, 2024, 2026. So it's coming out really soon. We're not going to wait another decade
Right.
for Star Wars. It's another trilogy, and the rumors are that Taika Waititi is going to do it.
I would be okay with that.
I know.
I think.
I
got
don't make
such-
it. He's so good.
Yeah.
He took something nobody cared about, Guardians of the Galaxy, and made it.
That's James Gunn, though.
I thought he did the second one.
He did Thor Ragnarok.
Thor. Sorry, I meant Thor.
Okay, I was gonna say, what are you talking
Not
about? No one
Guardians.
cared about Guardians. It's
Sorry.
like the one
James Gunn also
is
amazing.
arguably maybe the
He's doing
biggest
Suicide
set
Squad.
of them.
No, I mean before. Everyone was like, "What is this raccoon?" And
Yeah. Okay.
that's
okay.
what, okay. Moving on. Number 6 for me was Parasite.
Number 6.
Number
number six.
6, that low?
Now,
You better have some good arguments for 1 through 5.
they were my favorites.
Good enough for me. Let's go.
We've already talked a lot about Parasite. The multi-genre melding together, I think, was one of the most. The art form of that. I don't know if I want to be a cinematographer or a writer, and I don't like doing that. Sounds really difficult. So that was impressive.
Well, that's just if you just want to write the best picture quality. As long as you don't want to do that, you're fine.
Which is easy for some people. June, whatever his name. I don't know his name.
Bong.
So we'll move past that one. We've already talked about it a lot. Number 5 for me was 1917.
Oh my goodness, that's my number 3.
I would debate moving it up because again, leaving that movie, the more I thought about it, the more I talked about it, I was like, that was one of the best things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Ever seen.
Yeah.
So
It's-
probably the most astounding thing was the profound cinematography.
Oh my gosh, I've never had the technicalities of a movie make me cry. Like, or that's
Yeah.
not true, but like,
I know what you mean.
Me and Alex
Yeah.
were like holding each other.
You're like-
weeping, like during the ruins scene.
Oh, yes.
Did you know that was filmed in the day?
Yes.
Yeah.
The behind the scenes, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Movie magic. Okay, if you guys go see it again,
I'm going to see it again.
I only say this because I've my profession part of my living has been video editing.
Yeah.
So I have an editing eye. So
Trying to catch the.
I counted the whole movie because I had heard what it was. If you don't know, it's one shot. It's made to look like one shot,
Yeah.
2 shots. Let's say 2.
It's 2.
Made to look like 2 shots the entire movie nonstop, which is astounding.
Yeah.
I counted 45 cuts.
Wow.
40, and not all of those were obvious. Several of them were obvious. Multiple of them, I'm like, that could have been a cut. I don't actually know.
Right.
That's how impressed I was.
Do you know how many
from
there
an
were?
editing side? I don't, and I want them to release it, and I want to hear if other people get a similar, less, more count.
Roger Deakins, bro.
Who's that?
The cinematographer.
Let's ask him. Roger, call him up. Call him Roger.
No.
So
Have
that.
have JJ call him.
I'll talk to Jay. I'll talk to him. I'll talk to
Right,
JJ. I thought it was extremely emotional. The acting was
Yes.
incredible
Yes.
from
Yeah.
both guys.
Yes.
Oh, for sure. And just the secondary characters, like
Yeah.
and like they have some major
Oh, the A-listers.
major A-listers
cameos.
as B
Mark
rolls.
Strong, when he appeared, I was like, oh.
He's great. He's better than I think people realize.
Oh my gosh, so
Which
underrated.
which
Mark Strong.
The bad guy from Sherlock Holmes.
that's what I thought. That's exactly what I thought
Yeah.
it was.
As
He
soon
really
as he said a word, I was like, is that my boy?
he was hilarious.
That's my boy Mark.
Everything about him may be my favorite character in that.
Yeah, he was good.
Like he was so well done.
Also, never
I
hated
loved
Benedict Cumberbatch so much,
I know.
but I think you're supposed to. Also,
Yeah.
I'm really curious if was it Sam Mendes directed it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If he is related to the guy or the guy who told the story. Did you see the thing at the
Yeah,
very
this is
end?
Mendez. Yeah.
So it sounded like his great or whoever grandfather knew that story and told him that story, and he made a movie about it. Because if you haven't seen the movie, the story is like the most under the radar, not a big story, and they told it because it was important. Because nobody ever like knew about it.
saved.
So it sounds like he was saying like my great great grandfather told me this story, who I was related to, who was in World War I. That's what it sounds like. But I need to look that up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, I feel like we could talk a lot about that movie, but I feel like we're all in agreement. It's like one of the greatest.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, if
Based
you
on
haven't seen it, you need to see it.
It's my number
Everything's beautiful about it.
Everything.
Number 3? I think it's probably
Oh my
number
gosh, when he's
3.
floating in the river and all the blossoms fall down.
Yeah,
Oh
that
my
was
gosh.
And then he starts crawling through dead bodies
Oh my gosh.
immediately after.
Dude, but the script, the way it says like that, like he sees the petals landing softly on his face, and then it says Blake. His friend.
Oh.
That's there are not. I mean, there are plenty that I want to own, but where they have the script and you can buy the script and also like some stills of the shots and coloring of everything. Like that's one, and then also what is it called? Is it Running Man? What's the? Oh my gosh! What was the movie that Harrison Ford did and they did it again not that long ago?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, is it not Running Man? What is it? It's
the sci-fi one.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like that one. The script for that and the stills that is.
It's beautiful.
Artwork for it is beautiful, and that's one I want, and this is one I want.
I would do that with Into the Spider-Verse as well.
Yeah, that's got some.
Apparently,
beautiful
they
stuff.
made it in a way to where if you pause it at any point in the movie, it's supposed to look like a beautifully drawn comic, which is incredible.
I believe that
That's
for
my
sure.
top 5 of the decade.
Spider-Verse?
Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
it's way up there. I didn't put it. Yeah, I'll talk about that in a second. What was I gonna say? That movie. I would probably put 1917 maybe at the top as far as production.
Yeah.
Not favorite, but production.
Right.
Okay, moving on. Number 4. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yep.
I didn't make my list, but I thought it was good.
Your top 10?
I enjoyed it.
I think I am a sucker for Quentin Tarantino.
Yep, I think that's what I was gonna say.
I'm a sucker for Leonardo, especially when he becomes best friends with Brad Pitt,
Yeah.
who is also I'm a sucker
Which
for. Like,
they weren't friends before this.
I know, and now apparently they're like, let's just make movies together.
Yeah.
That's so
Like
awesome.
they literally, they've kind of met a couple times. This is the first time ever working together. This is the first time ever spending an extended period of time
they, like,
together.
loved each other.
And they clicked so well.
Dude.
It's like they've known each other their whole lives.
So fun.
Like they're amazing together. Like
Yeah.
their chemistry was palpable. That's right.
Palatable?
Palpable.
Powerful.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
But yeah,
they
it
were
was
both
amazing.
Amazing
I
acting.
loved
The
it.
writing's amazing. If you like Quentin, that's what when people ask me about it, I'm like, do you like Quentin Tarantino? Because if you don't, it's not going to be the best movie for you. But if you
For
do, it's one of it might be my favorite Tarantino, which I know
Really?
is a big jump.
It's so different from all of this.
I
Yeah.
know, and that's probably
Yeah.
why I like
Yeah.
it so much. Also, I'll say I remember the whole time being like, I've got this tension, but I don't know where this is going. And then there's a freaking flamethrower at the end, and the ending was just like the most bananas thing I've ever seen.
Like, I told my mom she hates Quentin Tarantino because she doesn't like violence.
Yeah.
I was like, it only lasts 20 minutes then.
For real, it's like no, it's like 5 minutes. It feels
Yeah.
like But I
Yeah.
was giggling and laughing like uncontrollably in that moment because it was so crazy.
But when they announced that Quentin Tarantino like a couple years ago, he's like, he's doing a Manson film. I was like, oh my gosh, a Manson film. And he's
And then does this.
yeah, 2
Yeah.
seconds.
That's,
Also,
I was gonna say those are reasons I love Tarantino. I love that era of film.
Yeah.
Like that
They nailed
takes place.
the era, yeah.
And then I don't the
history
but
twist.
I know a lot about the Manson family and
Yeah.
everything that went on with that. So like
I didn't.
It's so
So
great.
But he's always changing up history.
Yeah,
I love
exactly.
that. That's what's so great.
Exactly.
So Caitlin is a big fan of cults,
Yeah. I love
which is another story for
I
her.
love that
All right,
that you're
all right.
that she
That's her.
loves cults.
That's her. She won't watch like violent horror movies unless it's about a cult, and she'll love it. I'm like, I don't know you. Anyway,
Did you guys see the Manson family? There was a movie that came out
No.
this year called The Manson Family.
Oh no.
Yeah.
They were probably trying to tail on.
Oh,
this.
for sure.
So Caitlin, walking into the theater for this movie, we were both really excited. I didn't know it was about a Manson family. I avoid trailers, avoid a lot of stuff. She goes, it's about the Manson family. And I knew a little bit about that. I was like, babe, I did not want to know that. So I was a little frustrated. Now I'm telling people, you got to know the story
Yes.
before you watch it.
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
then you see how it all fits together, and then he does what he wants with this
Yeah.
history.
Me and my brother saw it, I think 3 times at least, maybe 4 times, and we did a test with people. We saw it the first time, us obviously knowing that it had something to do with the Manson family, and that's about it. We knew it was a Tarantino. We knew
Which is
Brad
enough.
Pitt and Leonardo, and it had something to do with the Manson family. That's all we knew. And then we saw it with people that didn't know about that at all.
Yeah.
And we got their take on it. Then there was a couple people.
yeah.
The next time I go, just so you know, it's about the Manson family. And if you know
Control
it,
group.
yeah, pretty much. And trying to figure out how much do you know.
Yeah.
Let me explain a little bit about the Manson family so you have some context.
Yeah.
And then everyone that knew enjoyed it better.
Yep.
And
Yep, 100%.
and then I think another one of the first groups we did it with saw it again and enjoyed it the second time after knowing
Yep.
everything. So you
Yes,
you
I
really need to
totally
know.
It's fun because when he goes to Spawn Ranch, you're like, what?
Oh yes.
See, at
absolutely.
those points, I didn't know all the details, so I didn't know much about it. I went to Wikipedia and read just the synopsis of the Manson family, and I was like, Quentin Tarantino hit every detail perfectly.
Yeah.
Like down to the names and the places. and
Tex
like
didn't
the
live that not that far from here.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. We're going to move on. Number 3 for me was Knives Out. I absolutely loved that movie, and I wish it got nominated for more.
Yeah, that's
it's-
original screenplay's pretty good.
Yes.
But I think director at least.
Oh.
See, I didn't see it. And
So
I
I'm not a
should've
big
seen it.
Ryan Johnson fan, partly because of Star Wars. Actually, no, that's not fair, because I loved Looper.
Yeah, you love Looper.
I love Looper. That's also not fair, because I love pretty much anything time travel, even the crappiest time
It
travel
is
movies.
fair. Ryan Johnson made a creative.
He's really good. He wrote one of the greatest stories out of scratch I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that looked like it was a remake from something. It was so woven together. I absolutely loved that movie.
He's coming back, that's what I was going to say, to direct Mandalorian episodes.
That's amazing.
Really?
Yes.
Also, he's coming back to make a sequel to
Knives Out, yes.
Knives In. Just kidding. I don't know.
You just ruined it. Now I know somebody lives.
What? You haven't seen it?
No.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, you think literally every single person died?
I mean,
I'm not gonna let you answer that
all
question.
I saw was like there was a wall of knives. Some people are
Which
gonna
doesn't
die.
have a lot to do with the story.
It is so funny to me.
Yeah.
Just a juxtaposition for
Yeah.
Daniel Craig said.
Dude, it's so good. One of the best. I love mysteries. It was great in the comedic side of things, cinematography,
And
story.
social commentary.
Yes. Oh, the
Dude,
commentary was
the way
amazing.
he freaking hands that teacup out of picture where he's like totally having a conversation with Ana de Armas. And he just hands her a teacup because she's Hispanic, basically.
That was so good.
And he's so casually talking about how like for social justice he is.
Yeah. I think
The little things. is
what's his face?
That's
Daniel
hilarious.
Craig could have been nominated for best supporting or
I-
best. He wouldn't have won, but I think he could have been nominated for best
Yeah.
actor.
Yeah.
I
He
love
is
Daniel
so
Craig.
good.
He's
Dude,
phenomenal.
It was like when I wrote down.
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
It was like. Oh no, I didn't write it here. It was like if you mixed. I did it in my review of it. Check out my review on Knives Out. But he was like when it was James Bond mixed with.
Foghorn. Just kidding.
It was like a mystery, like a mystery mixed with. No, I said Andy from The Office talking about Savannah when this molasses just sort of spilling out of your mouth. That's how he sounds.
That's funny. No, you're right.
Oh, it was good. Anyway, okay, we're gonna keep going.
His name. What's his name? Is it Poirot in the thing or no?
It's LeBlanc or Blanc,
Blanc. Okay.
not LeBlanc. It's just
But
Blanc.
he has Poirot like aspects because he's a detective. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Oh, it reminded me of the Orient Express.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's what you're talking about. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Mix him with those other two things. That's the movie.
Yeah.
So
Oh
good.
my
Mixed
gosh.
with Looper.
I loved that movie.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
That
We
movie's
can't talk
so-
about it because it was 2019. It's really good. One of my favorites.
I
All right, number 2, Joker. Tori's out.
Got nothing to say.
Got nothing to say.
Thank you, Ned. I have a lot of things. Can I say?
Yes.
Okay.
This is the time to talk about Joker, guys.
Yes, I want to hear your.
Tori's going to talk about
reasons
the
why
bad
you
and then
don't
we'll talk
like-
about the good.
Okay. I understand where it comes from.
You understand why we love
I
it.
understand why you love
That's
it.
good.
Me as like, I just don't like anything Todd Phillips has said about it. Like, I think he's.
For instance.
For instance, his whole thing about like, you can't do comedy anymore because the world's too PC. And I was like, shut up, dude. Like,
Just
he made
laugh.
The Hangover and like movies you could never like release today. And he thinks like comedy.
Oh, so he's offended.
Yeah.
And so he like projected that through this movie. Is that how you feel?
Kind of. He just says those things, so that's why he's going to Joker like more drama
Gotcha.
films because it can't make comedies anymore. It's too PC. And I was
Gotcha.
like, you're annoying.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was
Interesting.
annoyed by that. And also just like the whole concept of a dude who gets made fun of and has the right to kill people. I think it was like pushing some buttons. Personally.
Which I think a lot of people have said that, like, this movie's going to condone people doing
or, like,
this.
Not even condone, just like you have that sympathy towards this person.
Right.
Oh,
And I
see.
couldn't get behind that sympathy.
I see.
But then when I watched it with Shelby, we almost walked out because
Wow.
the mental health side of it
Yeah.
was so intense that I was like, I can't believe this is a superhero like in DC
Right.
universe. Like,
Oh, they went deep. They
it
went way
felt
deep.
too real to the point where I was like, I don't know if I can handle this.
I don't want this to actually happen in real life.
Yeah. And then it went like at the end, it was like, whoa, we're superheroes here, and they're superheroes here. And I was like, oh.
Okay, that's a really fair point, Tori. I think I see a different side of it in the sense of, and maybe, so I worked at a church, so maybe that gives me a bias too. But I look at it in the sense of like pain caused by people drives people to dark places.
Right.
This was a film,
Yes,
and
totally.
I don't think anyone should condone like you can murder people if you get hurt bad enough. Like
Yeah.
not at all.
Yeah.
It's just scary what pain can do to people and what
Yes.
treating people can do
Yes.
to them. Like
I
that
just-
freaks me out.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I just think in the climate that we are in today, politically, I don't think it was a wise choice to release it. And it just hit certain little things for me that I was
Totally.
like, I don't like this.
Totally.
Yeah.
On a flip side for me too, it was just extremely entertaining.
Oh, it was a
I
beautiful
love-
film. Like,
It was
beautifully
gorgeous.
filmed, like,
It was dark. I love dark movies.
and the score was
That-
I don't remember it honestly.
Oh my gosh, it was
but they won.
incredibly beautiful.
won.
You need to go.
Yes.
Yeah. She
The first,
killed it.
The first lady
Yeah.
to ever win best score, right?
I don't know if it's the first woman, but
Maybe
I'm
not.
pretty. That
Or
sounds-
best original score, right?
Yeah.
I need
Yeah,
to watch it
she-
again.
She killed it. That was absolutely
Literally.
beautiful. Yes. It's kind of based off the Killing Joke. Anyway, there's moments where like the whole bathroom scene.
Oh,
Whenever he goes in,
Improvised.
he runs away, and then he's supposed to be freaking out. Originally, it was written for him to wash his face, try to hide the
Yes,
gun,
I heard about that.
and he's like, "This doesn't feel right at all."
this isn't what he would
This
do.
isn't what he would. Yeah, exactly. He wouldn't do this. He's so caught up in this, and
And he's turning into something.
yes, and they use that as a catalyst. He goes, "Well, I just got this new piece of music. Let me play this," and it was just the two of them in that they shut the bathroom, pushed everyone out,
Yes,
played the
I
music, and then he just kind of
Went with it.
started moving, like because he did a lot of movement work, a lot of dance and choreography work with the choreographer, and I forget what his name was, but the dude killed it.
Yeah.
And taught him some great things, and then he took all he learned in this moment and just started doing his weird little moves, and you start to see the Joker start to blossom even more. there.
Yeah, I think that. Am I interrupting you?
No, you're good.
I think that was probably the most amazing, remarkable fact of the whole movie, and why I think Joaquin was the most amazing because of the transformation.
Yeah.
From being like holding, because his laugh actually was like allegorical of him holding in like pain and something that was messing with his mind, and PC aside and all that.
Sorry,
So
yeah.
no, I'm not saying that at you,
Yeah.
but you have to like set that aside to enjoy the art, kind of.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that aside, him turning into a psycho and being free was amazing because he started, instead of walking like hunched and rigid, he was like so
You start
like
seeing
I'm
him.
amazing and I could dance down these stairs. That was in the movie being like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
See, I can appreciate those things, and I think if I wasn't
The
so
art.
in that mindset
Yeah.
of being like,
Right.
The wall and
yes,
I
there
feel
was
you.
definitely a wall going into it, like.
Oh,
100%.
so you had an expectation
Yeah, because
going
I
in.
heard
yeah,
like
yeah.
Todd Phillips interviews. I was like, I
Oh,
hate this
oh
guy.
man, I wish you would have heard them like after the movie.
Yeah.
But before he was being like a little douchebag.
I mean, I get that absolutely. I have no problem people using art and their platform to speak about what they want to, whatever's on their heart and everything, but using it to kind of speak in a way that doesn't really apply to it which like he was doing. I'm like, oh, you're upset, so I did this instead. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, that
Just make the movie.
Just
dude.
shut up.
That's how I felt
shut up.
above everything. With Star Wars, with Joker, I'm like, can we all just like love a movie, please?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now I say that I get biased and
Oh,
politically
for
correct
sure,
all the
for
time,
sure.
but-
And like that comes, you dance a fine line with like,
Literally.
can you separate?
In the bathroom.
Yes. Can you separate the art from the creator or from the
message, the
Can you
agenda?
separate the like? Literally, there's plenty of people and plenty of things of music or film that are beautiful and will always be timeless, and then there's that bad apple that had something to do with it,
Yeah.
and people
It
are
ruins it for me.
and and
Right.
it sucks
Yeah,
so
I know.
much, and it's hard to find that world of like, can you
Yeah.
still appreciate this without glorifying that
Yeah.
or him or her or that company, whatever it is.
Right.
Because like honestly, if we all love film probably more than we should because we're here doing this and I've been doing it for years
Right.
and I love it.
Right.
But at the same time, we're also not I want to say glorifying, but we're feeding a evil monster at the same time. Or anything.
That's really hard.
So
Because that's probably how you're feeling is like, I love the art, I hated the agenda and the commentary from it.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a hard place to be.
Yeah. I
All right.
like it.
I'm going to move on to
Sorry, we
my
have-
number
yeah, we
one.
have-
This is it, and we got to wrap up
Going
because
so long.
it's
I'm
been a
so
long
sorry.
time. Okay, number one for me, and without a doubt, it hit the top when I saw it, and nothing pushed it down the whole year was
Hold on.
Avengers
Okay.
Endgame.
No way.
Absolutely.
that one was number one for you.
100%,
I can totally
no
get
question.
behind that. That's one of those things like this is a movie, I'm enjoying it. I can't believe I'm seeing this in my eyes. Yes.
That is how I felt.
Yes.
If it is not the best movie that came out,
No.
it was not better than like a majority of these movies. But what it was
The feelings
was
you felt.
unbeatable. The feelings I felt, the moment
Yeah.
the hammer rushed into his hand, the things people said, the heartbreak, the bringing everything back, the
Yeah.
11 years of culmination into one movie made it unfairly at number one.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
for
get
sure.
That, I get that.
That is not fair
They
for every
wrapped
other movie.
that stuff up perfectly.
Yes,
Makes me want to cry.
absolutely. There was
It was a
lot
long
of
journey.
a lot
But I made
of
it.
beautiful.
We made
all
it,
leading
guys.
up to this. I'm just excited about the next 20 films we
4.
need 4, 5, and 6 just to get to the next this.
I just read today that Fantastic Four is coming out, is being introduced in the next 2 years in Phase 4. And they're talking about them being introduced in Ant-Man 3 is
No
the rumor
way.
that they'll bring them in. And I don't
Which
know
makes
how that's
sense.
going to... Scientists
So
and like...
okay, so
quantum.
Reed Richards and Hank Pym.
Yeah.
They actually in the comic book world.
Yeah.
They're connected. They know each other. They used to work together.
Yeah.
And they helped develop a lot of technology with each other.
Okay, so
that's kind of there's
gonna be
definitely
a string
definitely
there.
connections
Yeah.
there.
Love that.
And everyone's been talking about who that's
villain.
gonna. Well, the villain. I mean, I don't know if there's any
was
one
a-
better than Doom, but they're gonna go.
But that means they'll lead up to Doom with
right?
others.
They're- and they're
And Galactus?
yes, I was gonna say they're gonna go.
You know Galactus?
Yeah.
They're gonna.
I could feel you distancing from over here.
I just think about how Chris Evans played 2 Marvel superheroes.
Yeah.
He doesn't even remember though. They interviewed him. and
He was like, oh yeah.
He's like, who else did I play? And he's like, they're different. And he's like, oh right.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, that's hilarious. It would be really
hold on,
fun.
hold on. What was his name?
I don't know.
The Human
I
Torch.
died.
The flamer.
The-
What would be really funny is if they way down the line had an interaction between the Human Torch, the new one, and Captain America, and just some little wink like,
Oh yeah.
"You remind me of me," or something,
for
something
sure.
so small.
For sure.
Oh, that'd be great.
But like that's the thing. Also, like honestly, I think he was Chris Evans was a great Human Torch in the original,
He was.
and I think they just
And it's
this
been
set up.
downhill since.
Yeah, they set it up poorly, unfortunately. But for Reed Richards and for Sue Storm, like the idea of who they're having, who they
the rumors.
rumoring about. Have you heard this at all?
John Krasinski and Emily Blunt. That's the rumor.
I'm sold.
Yeah,
Done.
And they've been trying.
Bring them in the MCU,
Marvel's
man.
been trying to get them into the Marvel universe for a while and talked about for different things, but every single time something major, some like heart piece that they were already working on kind of conflicted. So they just keep like, all right, we're gonna get you. We'll do something soon.
There's rumors that they're gonna tie in The Quiet Place. I couldn't even say it with a straight face. I was trying to get through it. Woo! No. Okay, back to Endgame.
Also,
Go
Christian
ahead.
Bale's gonna be fit in the role.
I heard about that. He's gonna be a villain, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, Christian Bale would be a great villain.
You know, he could. Never mind.
Same thing also with Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves, or not villain, but they're going to make him. They've been talking about him being in it also, and they've worked with a couple different things.
Superhero. John
Oh, for sure.
They're gonna make. I just realized they're just trying to bring in like the greatest actors of all time into the greatest series of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Which will be historic.
Literally
Oh
all
my
of them.
gosh.
They got
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal already.
Yep.
That was
And he
crazy.
could have done something better too.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
but
Jake is great.
no, he's great and did great at that role. Lower on my list.
Okay.
But because of how good he is, I'm like, make
Right.
him something. Make him the next
He was
Thanos
a
or
real
something.
goofy
He really
guy.
was.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're gonna have
back
two
to
Thanoses?
Endgame. Yeah, his brother,
Thanos?
Thanos. His sister, Thanos. Okay, back to Endgame. I don't even know what else to say about it, but I
Yeah.
feel like we have to. I wanted to keep us focused.
Yes.
On it.
Did you not feel like it was? I don't have this opinion of it, but
You
other
heard
people
this?
told me that they don't like it because they thought it was cheap. The ending, the way they went back in time and like fixed everything.
Time travel sucker over
Yeah,
here.
I
I
love
can't.
it.
I did not know it was about time travel when I went into the movie.
Same.
And I love time travel. If the movie sucked and it was time travel, I probably would have loved it. So the fact that they added that in and did it well, because time travel is very tricky. There, Looper, for instance, nothing against Ryan, Looper doesn't really work in the sense of time travel.
Right.
And most time travel movies don't.
Yeah.
And they actually brought that up. Didn't they talk about
Yeah.
Back to the Future? They're like,
Yeah.
these movies we've always seen. But they made it work and they explained why it does work. So I love
Right.
that.
And the whole thing with Stephen Peggy being reunited totally made the whole thing for me.
Man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of my favorite part in that movie.
Literally when he says Avengers Assemble.
Yeah.
That was.
Oh
great.
yeah,
I
when he
mean,
gets the hammer,
Yeah.
the fact that you're like
them.
Wait, and
doing
then Thor's like, I knew it.
that whole moment's great.
It in the Avengers Age of Ultron.
That was one of the
He,
best scenes.
He kind of like twitches it.
Yeah.
That was one of the best scenes in the whole series.
And you see him like panic a little
He's
bit.
like,
and okay, good. Yeah, you're great.
Oh,
It's great. It's so well done.
their suits were amazing.
Yeah, they were cool too. I remember whenever you see just the still of all their hands in, and you're like, who's in that circle? Who's going
yeah,
back in
yeah,
time?
yeah.
And you're trying to figure out that's a huge hand. That's probably
Hulk.
that's Thor. That's probably Hulk there. Who's this? And like that was some of the most fun is trying to figure out who was alive, who was going on, and
Yeah.
trying to break it without actually seeing things too much. And trying to I love going into the deep theory of all these things to try to figure it out.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say one thing though, like I mean, there's so many great little funny moments. Like whenever he is getting ready to fight, go there, and then what's his name? Doctor Strange pops up, or he says, "What was it?" I think. Oh man, I haven't seen it in so long.
I know, it came out in the summer.
Yeah, he comes in and says something,
came
and
out in
all of a
April.
sudden, all these portals open up and everything.
Yeah.
and I was like, "Holy
That was
crap!"
epic.
Like the Wakandans
Chills.
come through.
Yeah.
Everybody.
So that was the one thing that I was excited about because in the original story of the Infinity Gauntlet, this is probably my favorite comic book arc of all time. Is the Infinity Gauntlet, the Infinity Wars, Infinity Crusades, everything that involves with that is definitely my all-time favorite. It's so difficult to do that without involving. It would have taken another 10 movies to get it closer to the actual comics.
Oh, yeah.
Because Silver Surfer's in it, the Fantastic Four is in it, part of the X-Men are in it.
Yeah.
There's
my God.
more galactical people in the universe at that time. So it would have taken so much more time to get to that moment. Because
And they needed to get there.
yes,
Because now they need to move on to whatever's next.
they've set up enough to where you can go deep into especially the outer realms
the
of
Eternals.
Yes,
is
Eternals
the next,
for sure.
One of the next big ones.
They
It's so good.
teased Adam Warlock, and they've been talking about that, and like that's Adam Warlock, Silver Surfer are two key elements to the Infinity Gauntlet story. And so with them not in there, I was already bummed going into it. I'm like, this is gonna suck.
But they nailed
I'm
it.
gonna love it anyways, but it's missing two of my favorite characters of all time.
Yeah.
And so, but they found a way to twist it to make it work. The time travel thing was annoying for me at first, the idea of it, and I'm like, I understand.
What else you gonna
it
do?
opens up a lot of extra things, like Loki's still alive.
Right. And now there's
And-
a show coming out
yeah,
that none of us
exactly.
knew about.
WandaVision? Crazy.
Yeah.
Looks crazy.
So that's also the other thing that I was going to say. Like the end of the year is going to be great
Yep.
because you have
Winter Soldier and
Winter Soldier and Falcon. Then you have the new Mandalorian the next month, and then WandaVision.
Probably gonna cancel Disney Plus like right now, and then just
And
get
then
it
just
back
get it
again.
back
and
again.
then the Obi-Wan Kenobi series too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yay.
With Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
So all these, so great.
I have a question about Black Widow. Does she die in the comics?
Do you, and oh, the thing, that's the other thing.
There's so
Kind
many
of, that's
different-
the other reason why this works. Also, the time travel thing, because if they talk about they're introducing string theory and the multiple universe, the multiverse in general.
Yeah.
So they can tell all the stories.
So
Spider-Man's
and
first story.
exactly, and so that's why in this they're able to let her die because X-Men have died a billion times over. The Avengers have there's
They've
a whole
just restarted
series.
the universe over and over.
My-
I
right?
didn't like it when Black Widow died. Is my point. I didn't like that.
It was
Right.
painful.
They chose
Yeah,
Carnage
oh.
over
Oh, I know.
For sure.
her.
They filmed it. They filmed it both ways too.
Yeah.
There's deleted
Something
scenes.
I don't care about him. He has nothing to live for. His family died too, so I don't care.
His
Oh my
family
gosh.
didn't
Just kidding.
die
That's
though.
so sad. That's so
He's
sad.
got the coolest hair in the whole movie. I cut my hair like that for about 3 months.
Did you
Yeah, I
really?
did.
I didn't even
I
notice.
literally held up my phone to my haircut.
He's like, I want this.
I want this, and he goes, "All right."
He,
I didn't look like Clint, but I wanted to.
he cuts your hair and just shaves an H in the back of your head. Here, there you go. You're Hawkeye. Congratulations.
You're a hot guy.
But no, like there's so many great moments in that series, and you're right. It is completely. It will never be my number one. I don't even know if it will be in my top 10, just because. I mean, it's not in my top 10 right now, just because of it's unfair.
It's totally
It's
unfair.
completely unfair.
If
It
I could
has-
make it number 0, I would just do that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's like here's my list, and obviously we don't even mention this because everyone knows,
Right.
type of thing.
That's
because
exactly how I feel.
it has 20 additional movies to set this up. and everything.
Standalone movie, good, not
Oh,
the
no.
best,
Oh, no.
not even close.
Wouldn't
Right.
make sense.
Right.
What's
Minimal-
happening?
And that's the problem. Like it as a standalone film, it doesn't work. Even as a part 1 and 2, it doesn't work because it has like there's just so much.
It begins with Ant-Man, like, what's his name? Like, just coming
Yeah.
out, and he's like,
Yeah.
what
Also,
happened?
it's not even my favorite Avengers movie.
Right.
But because it's unfair. I think Infinity War was so much better.
Yeah,
And
I think-
maybe
I
my
agree.
all-time
I think I
favorite
like
or
Infinity War
second
better,
favorite
sure.
besides Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier is one of my least favorites. Mainly because I'm not a big fan. I never liked what's his name that much. Yeah, like whatever
It's
his
not
real
about
name
Bucky,
is.
man.
I understand that.
It's
It's
about
not about.
Steve.
It's about Steve.
I know, but
It's about how good the fighting is in that movie.
that whole
The
that,
Russo
that
brothers
scene,
need to make all the rest of them.
that scene of both of them fighting Iron Man,
Dude.
is insane. I'll give you.
Not
like,
Civil War.
you're right. It is,
Which is
Civil War,
also
which
really
is,
good.
Yeah, sorry.
Is that what you were referring to when you said
no,
it wasn't
but
your favorite?
no, I'm just not a big fan of Bucky.
Oh, it's okay. So neither is Tony. Anyway, well, we're not gonna go there. Anyway,
Can I ask one question? Did
Yeah.
y'all see The Art of Self-Defense? That's in my
That's
top
one of my
No.
lists. That's one of
Okay, I
on
gotta
my
put it
list that
down.
I need to see.
That's
It's
my number 9.
I think it's
Wow.
on Netflix, I believe.
I don't know.
So it's on one of my multiple streaming devices.
Yeah.
Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime. Go look at those, you'll find it.